Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you episode 1, kind of reluctantly, but of a new Let's Try. This is a game I never really spent enough time with. I love the first in the series, but this is the sequel to that, which I think is actually a prequel. I'm not sure, but it is super dope. Party-based, real-time with pause combat, CRPG. It's deep and it's vast, and it's like a 60-hour plus, on a speed run type deal. So, I say reluctantly because against my better judgment, I shouldn't be starting another huge CRPG with like Pillars of Eternity going and stuff like that. But I'm in the mood for it, so we get it in where we can. It's your boy GGF, and this is episode 1 of Let's Try Drakensang 2, Phileasson's Secret, aka the River of Time. Bong bong. Let's get it in, guys. We're gonna have some fun. It took me forever getting this game to work. Like, I had to do a lot of tinkering and tweetering. I don't know what that word is. I just made it up, but bong bong. I'm really not sure what to expect. It's been years since I even ever barely touched this one. I took Drakensang 1 on my old channel all the way to the end game. It was a huge Let's Play. Let's see, I changed it to 1080p. We want all these graphical things on. Options are pretty basic. Controls, we'll get into this more as we play the game, of course. Auto pause combat. Wait a minute. Where's spacebar? Do you mean to tell me pause in combat I have to hit pause? No, let's make that spacebar. Oh, key is already assigned as pause. Oh, okay. I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go, though. Tutorials, conversation, speech bubbles. Yep, auto stack. We'll keep that off. Difficulty. I'm going to play on difficult because it seems like you can change it at any time. So we'll just roll with that to start. New game, difficult, and let's go on this journey together, guys. See, the setting can be altered at any time. Bong bong. Can't wait to play some chill, massive CRPG. I'm definitely in the mood for something a bit more storybook, a bit more traditional, like a Baldur's Gate type. And this seems perfect. And I went through a lot to get it to work, but we finally got it going here. Furdock 1032 BF. Bong bong, mashallah. Hope you guys are doing well, by the way.
Gladys, come down.
I'll be quiet now.
Well, Forgrim, let's get you a pale ale.
Alas, the beer tastes only half as good without Ardo. Those were the days back then.
None of you has ever told me what actually happened back then.
Because it's a secret.
Yes, that's what you keep telling me over and over.
Maybe you're old enough for it now. Listen. It's a story about betrayal and greed, and the beginning of a friendship.
Bong bong, mashallah. Let's go on this journey together, guys. It's just as new for me.
A previously unknown adventurer was also with us. Otherwise, we would probably not have pulled it off.
That must be us.
Somehow, this person got entangled in our problems during the autumn of the year 1009, after Busparen's fall. We all met on the journey, as it so often happens. How might it have been for the Greenhorn? Just imagine, Gladys. I'll reveal to you who it was.
Okay, so quick heads up, guys. This is probably just going to be a character create episode. We're going to go through all the classes and races and stuff like that. So if you want to see that, then let's continue. If not, I would turn the video off, because I don't know if we're going to get to gameplay today, but here we are. Character creation, it's as deep and vast as the game itself and as the first game. And let's take a look at all these background details of the various classes. So we've got Warrior. The comprehensive training at the Academy makes the Warrior a courageous swordsman who can move on both the battlefield and in a courtly environment with self-confidence. Honor and chivalry shape his life and keeps his word. So much like a knight archetype. Then we have an Archer. The Archer decides many fights before the enemy reaches him. In a pinch, he still knows how to wield a sword with skill. That's cool. He is quick at assessing dangerous situations and is quite an expert on the ways of the wild. So if we click here on Expert Mode, change the character values. Character sheet contains all the game's stats, spells, and talents sorted into the tabs at the top of the screen. If you have multiple heroes, click on the relevant hero portrait at the top right to switch between them and the summoned beings or guests. Oh no, to swap items, this does not work for summoned beings or guests. Clicking on a piece of armor or weapon equips it. Right click to see a wealth of information on values, objects, talents, spells, and special skills. If you want to use leveling points to upgrade values, click the plus button. Your hero's abilities are listed here. The value represents how well your hero has mastered each ability. The dashes indicates that you first need to learn the ability or learn this talent from a trainer. Talents are used in many ways. Many social talents are used in dialogues. Healing talents are used in conjunction with items for healing, while nature talents assist your hero in dealing with plants and animals. To use a talent, your hero will roll a test on the value and 3 associated attributes. The result is displayed in the message log, so that's very cool. Increase. You can increase all elements in the talents, combat talents, and spells tabs by clicking on the up-down arrows. If you don't have enough experience points left, you won't be able to increase the element. The same applies when the element has reached its maximum value. When you click on Accept Changes, everything will be locked in. Up until then, you can allocate and remove as you wish. Cancel takes back all the points you've allocated. Talents with dashes or missing spells must be first learned from a trainer. So here we are. For the Archer, we can look at what they start off with. 2 survival, 2 treat wounds. We'll go through all the skills and everything as well. And 1 human nature, 2 bowyer, artisan. So it's a lot of crafting, it looks like, and picking locks, disarming traps. So where to start here? My goodness, this might be a multi-part character create episode. Archer, he's a middle realmian. Adventure points reflect the sum of the XP the hero has accumulated. For example, one sec guys, my eye is burning away here. You can be awarded AP for defeating opponents, completing quests, surviving difficult situations, and mastering challenging conversations. Each hero has his or her own AP. Very cool. Leveling points are used to increase character values, attributes, special skills, spells, or to learn new talents and level. The level is a measure of the total XP a hero has gained over the course of his or her adventures. A hero's level is based on the number of adventure points earned. Spells and combat talents are limited to base value plus level plus 3. Talents are limited to base value plus 2 times level plus 3. We don't have to know all this, but shows how you reach the different levels. Let's take a look at the base attributes. We've got courage, the ability to react quickly and resolutely in critical situations, but also daring and fearlessness when facing new or risky situations. In a passive role, courage represents high level of willpower and mental toughness, both in resisting magic and in confronting terrifying challenges and beasts. Cleverness. This attribute signifies intelligence and logical reasoning, the ability to analyze a situation and to draw rational conclusions, as well as a quick grasp of mundane and magical correlations. A high cleverness value represents knowledge acquired from books and a good memory. Alright, then we've got intuition, the ability to make sound decisions without having to think about it at length, or a swift appraisal of people, or situations when not all the required data and facts are on hand. A healthy dose of empathy for people and the ability to attune oneself to the astral energy plane are also governed by intuition. Charisma, good old charisma, the attribute represents a character's personal magnetism, eloquence, and leadership qualities. The ability to make use of your own voice, gestures, and facial expressions persuasively, as well as gauging the intensity of a magical aura, are all linked to the charisma value. Then we have dexterity, the skillful use of the hands and fingers, good hand-eye coordination, especially in intricate activities like writing, drawing, disarming traps and picking locks, general manual quickness. Agility, general physical suppleness, quick reactions and reflexes, accuracy in judging your own reach, excellence in jumping and other skillful physical activities. Constitution, the nearly exclusively passive quality, is a measure of the physical robustness and resilience. The ability to withstand illness and poisons, it's the root of vitality and endurance, which are these base values. And then we have strength. Stands for the availability of raw muscle power, especially the capacity to use it tactically, and combined with constitution, it's also a measure of the hero's general state of health. So these apply to these base values. We've got vitality, shows the max number of injuries the hero can sustain before he dies. It's easy to lose vitality points through fights, traps, or poisons. Potions, healing magic, medical knowledge, or a recovery period help heroes to regain vitality points, and you can see the calculation. Constitution plus strength, and yeah. Then we have astral energy. All magically gifted beings have astral energy at their disposal. This value provides information on how much magic the hero can perform before the potential is depleted and he's forced to take a break from casting spells. Courage, intuition, and charisma, actually, interestingly enough. Endurance shows how often a hero can carry out special abilities in combat before fatigue sets in. The endurance rating decreases faster than vitality, but is also regenerates faster. The more endurance a hero loses, the slower it will be regenerated. Courage, constitution, and agility will help that. Resistance to magic determines whether a hero is easy or difficult to enchant. Strong willpower, a robust constitution, and alert mind ensure that the latter is more likely. Here they spell it out: courage plus cleverness plus constitution. Then we have dodge. Instead of parrying a blow with a weapon, a hero can also try a skillful dodge maneuver, especially when there isn't a suitable weapon at hand. If the dodge value is higher than the parry value, then a test is automatically rolled for dodge instead of parry. Your base parry value minus full encumbrance plus special ability dodge 1 through 3. Then we have attack. Is an offensive combat action that is executed with a melee weapon and is meant to inflict damage on the opponent. Usually there's one test roll on the attack value per combat round. The value depends on the equipped melee weapon and its utilized weapon talent. So attack base value minus 0.5 times effective encumbrance. Yeah, see all that. And then we have parry. To defend against an attack, the hero may attempt to parry a blow. The hero attempts to ward off the opponent's attack with his own weapon and escape damage in doing so. The value depends on the equipped melee weapon and its utilized weapon talent. Attack, parry, RC is range combat. In contrast to melee, a hero can also participate in battle from a safe distance. To do so requires range combat value, and tests are rolled for that instead of the attack value. The value depends on the equipped ranged combat weapon and utilized weapon talent. And then finally we have hit points. Specify the level of the damage that can be inflicted by a successful and unparried attack with the currently equipped weapon. This damage is decreased by the opponent's armor rating value and subsequently deducted from the vitality as damage points. Calculation is weapon damage and possibly your strength bonus. They get bonuses and penalties. Judge distance. This hero has an uncanny ability to quickly judge distances and enjoys a clear advantage in ranged combat. These points contribute directly to the hero's base value and are not reflected in subsequent modifications. +4 to all ranged combat talents. And we can pick one even, it looks like, by clicking here. I don't know if these are all of them. It looks like for the archer, these are all of them, but very cool. I mean, we can actually go and get... Ooh, look at that. Wow. There's a lot to check out here. That is very dope. But we're just looking at the basic stuff right now. So here we have physical. We're going to go through the skills now, or as they're called, talents. Sneak. Successful sneaking isn't just a question of physical control. Instead, it also involves being on the alert for potential sources of sound, such as creaky floorboards or dry twigs on the ground, and of recognizing and avoiding these in good time. A sneak test can be countered with a successful perception test, whereby a sneaking party is only as proficient as the group member with the lowest talent prowess value. Talent group base. Effective with your encumbrance. Okay, then we've got willpower. While willpower can, on one hand, be used in dialogue, it also enables you to withstand great pain. The character with high willpower will not be distracted in combat even by heavy blows and will be able to complete their special attack or spell. Characters with high willpower can also resist wounds better. Resisting wounds if the damage is higher than the constitution. First, a willpower test, made more difficult by the difference between the two values, is rolled. If the test fails, the player will receive a wound. Courage is now deducted from the damage suffered if the damage is still greater than the constitution. Another test is rolled, whereby the difficulty level of each subsequent test is reduced by the constitution. If the difficulty level drops to below 0, no further tests are rolled. Each failed test causes a wound. Perception doesn't mean just having sharp senses. Instead, it involves being able to employ and rely on them. Good perception reduces your chances of being ambushed or falling into a trap. A high perception value increases the visible radius on your minimap. Nice. Pickpocket. Whether cutting purses or pilfering items unnoticed from strangers' bags, many slightly disreputable heroes make use of this talent. The only drawbacks are that you have to get very close to your victim, and that an attempt to pick someone's pocket can be made more difficult or prevented if the intended victim is talented in perception. Once a theft attempt has failed, you are considered suspect for a certain period and will incur penalties for further attempts. Once this period has passed, the penalties are lifted and there are no further consequences. Very cool to know. And finally, dwarf nose. I take it you have to be a dwarf to get this. Dwarves have developed a preternatural instinct when it comes to sniffing out secret passages, hidden doors, or openings in walls and rock, even when these structures are so well concealed that, for example, no perception tests are permitted. They're displayed on the minimap. Nice. Then we've got nature skills. Animal lore. A basic prerequisite for successful hunt is, of course, a thorough knowledge of the distribution and behavior of the most common types of animal. Animal lore allows characters to successfully gut animals in order to collect their valuable leather, sinews, and other parts. Many of these items can then be further processed using other artisan talents such as alchemy, bowyery, or blacksmithing. Plant lore. Those possessed of plant lore know not only where they should search for familiar plants, they can also identify unfamiliar plants by comparing them to familiar ones. Many of these plants are used in alchemy as raw materials for brewing potions, rare and valuable potions. Those with a high value in this talent can also harvest hard-to-find plants. Survival. Four-leafed one-berries often grow on the outskirts of forests, whereby Gold tends to prefer the shady forest interior. Bears are loners, while wolves hunt in packs. Characters with the survival skill are aware of these facts and can quickly get their bearings in the wilderness. Irrespective of their talent value, characters with this talent can quickly find rare plants and useful animals. These are displayed on the minimap. So that kind of overrides animal lore and plant lore in some situations. Then we have traps. This talent involves the clever placing and camouflaging of up to 3 traps and requires appropriate tools, namely appropriately prepared traps such as the bear trap. The detection of these traps is regulated by perception tests that are modified accordingly and for which, of course, a higher talent prowess value is advantageous. Traps can be either purchased or made using the bowyery and blacksmithing talents. You can disarm a trap you have set yourself at any time, but doing so will cause it to disappear. If you've placed more than 3 traps, the one you placed first will disappear. Then we go to lore skills. And all of these skills are utilized in the game, obviously, but it's very dope how deep it gets. Very deep and robust CRPG here. Streetwise. This talent enables you to quickly get your bearings in an unfamiliar city. Depending on your talent prowess, certain people will prove to be loquacious, while certain merchants and entrances are more quickly recognized by someone streetwise than by someone who's unfamiliar with the town who does not have this talent. Info is displayed on the minimap. Treat poisons, whether from spiders, poison traps, or poisoned arrows and blades. Poisons can cause serious injuries or mar and reduce a character's stats in the long run. Only a successful treat poison test can halt the poisoning process and cure its negative effects. Prerequisites for successful healing include diverse ingredients that can either be found using the plant lore talent or purchased from merchants. Treat wounds. This talent enables lost vitality points, wounds, and critical wounds to be healed. The healer will always need bandages, healing salves, or similar items. The talent test enables TP plus the bonus of the item used to be healed over a certain period of time. If, however, the wounded character is injured again during this period, the healing effect will immediately be interrupted. No new test can be performed for the injured character during this period. One wound is healed for each successful test and another for every 3 TP. A critical wound can also be converted to a regular one by a successful test. Tests on critical wounds are therefore always successful. An arcane lore. Could this ring be magical, and if so, what kind of magic does it hold? Arcane lore enables characters who have spent a long time in studying the arcane arts, or who have an instinctive grasp of magic to identify magical artifacts, potions, and enchanted items. Nice, there's even identify. And I realize we're kind of lagging here a little bit. I apologize for that, I'm not sure why. Social skills. Seduce. This talent governs your character's effects on members of the opposite sex. A successful talent test signifies that the object of your advances is well disposed towards you. What the beguiled person is prepared to do for your character is another matter, however, and depends greatly on the current game situation. When dealing with characters with high levels of willpower, seduce tests are correspondingly more difficult. But pretty cool. Then we have etiquette. It can happen that characters unexpectedly end up mingling with high society, whether they are invited to attend a court ball or royal audience as a reward for a particular deed, or because they are spying on a villain at the Duke's palace. How, though, does one address the daughter of a margrave, and which coat of arms belongs to the Stormfield Mercinger family? You will also need to know which wines are currently in fashion, and whether or not it's considered appropriate to serve sweet pastries after mutton casserole. As it would be impossible for players to remember all these things, their characters should be well versed in etiquette as possible. Etiquette is governed by fixed talent prowess values, and no talent tests are rolled. It's really lagging bad here, so what I'm going to do is probably reload the game. Seems to be a game thing. It might be an OBS thing. I'm not sure why, but I might have to install on a different drive. You know what? I'm not going to start over because it probably just means I have to start on a new drive. Also, I have to go through this again, don't I? My bad, guys. But we'll get to more stats and stuff.
Previously unknown adventurer was also with us.
Alright, so back to Archer we go, and back to expert mode. Okay, so we left off at Haggle. This talent enables you to manipulate prices to your advantage when dealing with merchants. You can buy things more cheaply and sell items for higher prices. It's also been known to bring heroes with the requisite talent prowess positive benefits during negotiations. For every point you have in Haggle, merchant prices are reduced by 1%. No test is rolled for this. Human nature. Is this person telling the truth? Is this swamp guide trustworthy? Am I being shortchanged by the delicatessen dealer? Only those characters with the requisite knowledge of human nature will be able to interpret this type of situation correctly and have the right response. Fast talk. Whether through lying, incitement, or begging, heroes can use this talent to shower their interlocutors with a hail of words, confusing them to such an extent that they can, at least for a short time, be persuaded to perform certain actions. The requisite talent test is easier or harder depending on how bright or brainless the person to be persuaded appears. Pretty interesting. Then we have artisan skills. Alchemy is an aspect of magic which requires manual skill. Not only is alchemy a rich source of income from alchemist confederations and magic schools, it's also a challenging and extremely popular pastime for laypersons. This talent enables a wide variety of potions, salves, and other alchemical items to be created from different ingredients, provided that you have the requisite talent and the right recipes. Items are created above a fixed talent prowess value. No tests are rolled. An alchemist's workbench is required to make potions. Then we have bowyer and crossbowyers make projectile weapons and are the only people capable of constructing tension-based range weapons and their associated projectiles, provided that they have the requisite talent and ingredients and the correct recipes. They can also make several other items, such as leather armor and ammunition. Item creation is based on a fixed talent prowess value. No tests are rolled. A workbench is required. Blacksmith don't just specialize in creating and improving all types of melee and throwing weapons. Instead, a good blacksmith also creates both simple and complex tools, provided that you have the appropriate talent and recipe and the requisite ingredients. Blacksmithing can be used to create improvised weapons, whetstones, improved weapons, whetstones, lockpicks, and even traps. No test rolled, same idea. A workbench is required, right? An anvil is required, right? Pick locks. This is the mainstay of the burglar's craft. To open a lock without the right key, a character will always need an appropriate tool, such as a lockpick, hairpin, small knife, or similar. Picking a lock that has been combined with a trap will not cause the trap to be triggered. If the test fails, the lockpick or the improvised tool will usually be used up, and the character will experience the shaky hand status effect for 5 combat rounds. This makes all attempts to pick the lock again during this period harder. Hairpins and lockpicks are expended during use and must be activated via a quick slot bar. If no aids are used, the test is subject to a handicap of 10. Disarm traps, whether in the form of spear traps, booby trap crates, or poison door locks. Traps can make a hero's life difficult. It is therefore advantageous to know how to disarm them in order to avoid their treacherous effects. Disarming traps does not require any tools. A failed test will trigger the trap. So that's everything in talents, and we're just warming up, guys. There's a lot going on here, so stick with me and let's check out more. Inventory, also extremely deep. You can see all the slots. This is where every hero gathers and sorts his or her belongings. The image in the center shows you what your hero is currently wearing. On the right, you'll see your hero, or on the right, you will see 2 bags and a quest bag. You can have your hero equip weapons, armor, and jewelry by left-clicking on the items, while right-clicking them will display a description of each item. Many items, such as weapons and potions, can be dragged to the quick bar below in order to have them handy when you need them. Every hero has his or her own quick bar. Give objects to other members of your party by dragging them to and dropping them on their portraits. You can use them via the radial menu, where you can also split up stacks. So we can see the different stats. Right hand, leg greaves. I mean, there's a ton going on. Quiver, pauldrons for shoulders. Shows what they start with as well. And if we right click, the smallest and lightest member of the sword family, we can see the stats. I'm really really frustrated with how this is lagging so much. I hope the game, when we're playing it, doesn't lag so much, but I'm pretty sure I have to put it on a different drive. And that's going to take a minute in the ending of the video. Which we're only 28 minutes into. Let's keep looking maybe at combat talents. Each weapon category has its own talent value that specifies how well a hero can attack and parry using that particular weapon. While melee skill stats are initially divided equally between attack and parry, you can, however, click on upgrade values to modify these values. The max possible difference between the two is 5 points. Range combat talents have only an attack value. So we can like set it more to attack versus parry, and that's how you wield each of these classes. And I might go through every single one, but only after I switch this. So I'm going to end the episode here, guys, and say thank you for joining me. I'll put episode 2 up at the same time as this one. We'll then look at the different weapon classes and get into magic and more of the other stuff, special abilities, spells, and look at the rest of the classes available. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope someone enjoyed this. I do like making these in-depth videos when we're dealing with a massive, deep CRPG, because it just lets us immerse a bit deeper and kind of really get the know-how of everything works, and I really dig that. So I hope you guys do too. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you really like what I do, guys, and you want to be a huge help, you can become a member. Info and links on that are in the description of this video. Feel free to check that out. And thanks to my members, I'm able to buy games like this each month, like one extra indie game, which I'm very grateful for. So shout out to my members. Love you guys. And love the rest of y'all too. So sorry about the short episode, but we'll get it sorted. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, be well, live well, stay well. Much love, peace, and joy. Catch you guys later. Ciao for now.